All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rubbin' Dirt. Today we have our number two nationally ranked USRA medieval stock car driver, Josh Zieman. 7 feature wins, finished off the year just a few points behind Mitch Hoveden, or Hooveden, however you want to say his name. I know there's going to be a lot of people that either critique me on it, it was pronounced this way, or it's not that way, but you know, congratulations.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it, man. We worked really hard, and it turned out pretty good for us this year.
Obviously, you went on to have 7 successful feature wins for the USRA that they credited you with. It sounds like it's been an amazing year for you. Of course, finishing as high as you did and hitting into that top seven, or not top seven, rather the top five that I've reached out. Uh, you know, that's an amazing accomplishment, and it's a great feeling, I'm sure, at the end of the season and look back and say, I came this close, so maybe next year you're a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's a real huge feat to race that close and get that close to Mitch. I think he's 8 or 9 time national champion, something like that. So up until the last weekend there, we were giving him a run for it, and he came down to Webster and put a whooping on us and showed us why he's the champ. So just to be within realm of reach of him is a big accomplishment to me. To run second nation's really cool.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
It seems like he just beat you out just by 65 points. If you would have got that 66th point over him, you would have taken first. Dethroned the king of the medieval stock cars.
Yeah, that's a tough one to do. We whittled 20 points off him on a Friday night, and then he come down on Saturday night, clinched that right back up to that 65-point deficit. And until then, we had a shot at it. But once again, he showed us why he's the champ. There's nothing you can say against him. I have a lot of respect for Mitch.
So maybe next time when you get that close, you tell the track promoters here, I'll slip you a couple extra bucks if you keep him out of the track.
Sometimes it feels like that's what some people do, and I definitely ain't got an extra couple bucks, but I wish it was that easy, man.
It's all good, fun humor here, but
oh yeah.
Now the question is, first, what is different between a factory stock and a medieval stock?
Honestly, I don't know too much about what a factory stock is. I know hobby stocks we raced around here, like the USRA hobby stock and a stock car, there's quite a bit of difference. As far as a factory stock, I don't know too much about them things. I think that's a little bit more of a southern thing. I'm up here in North Iowa, so.
Okay. I wasn't going crazy. There is actually a class that is called factory stock.
Yep. There is a factory stock class. That's more of a southern thing. We don't run them up here.
I had to make sure I wasn't going crazy.
Nope, you're all right. There's hobby stocks also. I think they're more similar to a stock car.
All right. So now, why did you choose to run a medieval stock versus the option of running a hobby stock?
Oh, it's pretty easy. The stock cars, they bring the show, man. There's just no doubt about it. I think we got the most competition, the most skilled drivers. It's right in the middle of the road as far as financially. It's more than the hobby stock, but less than A mod, and pretty equal to B mod. So that's also a deciding factor. But they just bring the show, man. Every night, everybody wants to watch that stock car feature. That's just the bottom line. They're so fun to drive, and they're very unique to set up characteristically wise. And I've learned a lot about them, and they're a lot of fun.
Now, it's never just quite, you seen it on TV one day and you wanted to go do it. So, what actually got you sparked into wanting to do dirt track racing?
Well, it's literally in my blood. My grandpa started racing midgets and jalopies in the late 40s, like 1946 to 81 is the years he raced. My dad raced from 78 up until the last handful of years or so, on and off. And I'm a third generation driver. I've been racing go-karts since I was 4 years old, and on and off D-mods when I was 13. And now my 5th year in a stock car. And like I said, third generation driver. It's literally in my blood. It's all I've ever wanted to do is be a race car driver.
Well, that's a pretty good bloodline to have,
Yes, sir.
and a good way to get involved. Now, this question, it may not apply to you, and I'm in no way, shape, or form sanctioned by the USRA. So if there's a complaint about points that I'm about to ask, you can address them here. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but uh, looking at it, when you look at some of the points, and some people agree and some people disagree, everybody's kind of on both sides of the fence when it comes to this question. Do you feel as though the USRA does a great job of, keeping the points where you can afford to miss a couple races here or there and still race for national championship, or is it more geared to you gotta always have the car count in your favor, and you can't afford to really miss a few nights?
I think that they almost got it nailed down to a T. They literally got your best 20 nights, and there's a nightly car count factor in that, and also a passing point factor, which if you look at some of the standings there, I've got the most passing points out of anyone. I got less wins and less top fives in some of the days, but I've come from deep in a lot of the races, which come 16th, third, 18th to second, a bunch of races like that without winning even, and those become really big points nights. So, and only if you look again, you look at the top 10, I've got the least amount of nights in the top 10. I've got 30 nights of racing with 27 features I qualified for, and a lot of the guys are running mid to upper 30s, and some of them are above 70 nights. So that's hard to compete with financially to get them nights in. But we just got, this year I got lucky, got a lot of quality nights in, a lot of passing points, and 7 wins helps. But the car count, does factor in. So those nights that there's 20 cars that or more there, you got to really run good that night if you want to. If you want to compete in the national points, and that's one thing that Mitch is really good at. When there's good car count and it's a big race, Mitch shows up. That's why he's the champ. He's the man.
Now, you did touch on it a little bit, having less wins than possibly, say, the other 5 national drivers. That is correct. You did get 7 wins, and that's something nobody can take away from you. But Rob Mosley did get 8. Brian White got 8. Derek Green got 11, and obviously champion Mitch took 13. It looks like you guys kind of stayed pretty well packed in together all year for the most part. When you look back at the season for you guys, is
it's
there
always really close with the stock cars. It always comes down right down to the wire with them generally.
now? And I do know that another driver I've reached out to has tied you with those wins, but didn't come, but possibly 120 points below you. So that still speaks to the
Yep.
good competition you guys have.
That factors into a lot of the cars getting passed. Like I said, I had quite a few quality nights of 12th to second. We come from deep in the field quite a few times and passed a lot of cars, and that's what put us up there. That's one of the things that ties back into the USRA point system is they really got it nailed down to where the fastest cars, are always at the top of the point system instead of in the other sanctions. You really got to finagle and race the system. You're not racing really. I mean, you're still racing other cars, but you're racing the system more than you're racing other cars, in my opinion. And this way, you just get your best 20 nights. I think Zieman, I think he won the national championship with less than 25 or 27 nights. I think handful of years ago. So, I mean, you don't have to really race a 60-night season to win the points championship or anything like that. So they really got it down to a T.
Now, and I am seeing this. How does it feel though to know that somebody like Mitch, he won the national championship, but isn't crowned the Northern King of the medieval stock car champions? that seems a little odd. I know to the basic fan that looks on the outside in goes, how did he win the national but not his region?
Yeah, yeah. I honestly don't know how the regional thing goes if it goes by, and an overall number. That would be dictated best by if you had the most nights in. I honestly don't know how that worked. I don't even know where I ended up. So, and if Mitch didn't win it, then I'm obviously below him. So,
I
yeah, I'm not
will.
sure how that works. That's not something that I really look forward to. Honestly, I'm not a real big points racer. I just go to win races, and everything else falls into place after that. I just want that trophy at the end of the night, and then
Well,
you know
now
this points thing falls into it.
with you being out in Iowa, does that make you considered in the northern section or more the
I
central?
I believe I'm in the northern, yes, and the central is more, I think, Missouri area, I believe.
Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. But no, I don't even see you in the northern. Oh nope, there you are.
Yeah,
You avoided me there for a little bit. You finished 11th this year in the north.
yeah,
Uh,
right on. Yeah, I'm thinking that's dictated more about the number of nights you gotta do.
yeah, I mean obviously it's a different kind of point scoring there. But is that something that maybe you would like to have done better? Is say, hey, even though Mitch beat me in the national, I beat him over here on the medieval in the north, or
No, I don't.
was
No,
it
that don't mean
more?
nothing to me really.
Is it more about the national? If you could
It's
topple,
all about that national number. Like I said, the northern region one, I'm not sure how that works or if there's any payoff for it or trophy. Hell, I don't even really know. So I don't know how that works. We can only afford to race so many nights during the year, so that's
of
something for
course.
someone else.
Now, my next question for you, it's a good question because Rubbin's racing and can't have
Yes, sir.
Rubbin without a couple little bit of rivals and some competitors out there. So if you had to choose one person that you run against a lot, who would you say would be your biggest competitor, or say that rival that drives you to be a better driver than you were last week or last month?
It is, and it always has been, and it's going to be for a while until someone else gets their turn. It's going to be the 15 car, Mitch Hudson from Dakota. I've watched him use before he released the stock car, and he gets better every year, every year, and every year. And, he's fast. He's super clean. He's super respectful. You can learn so much from just watching him come out. So I don't know him perfectly very well, but you can learn a lot from just watching him on and off the track from an outside, and be a better competitor yourself. And even racing against him on the track will teach you to be a better competitor. So definitely the eight. I don't even know. You might have the statistics. 8 or 9 time national champions. He's won every big race you can think of in a USA stock car. Big enough yet, and maybe someday he'll get the appreciation he truly deserves.
Of course, and I'm hoping to try to get him onto here so we can kind of give him that platform he does deserve. Um,
Yep.
Now, at all the tracks you get to run out there, there's a lot of them that are USRA sanctioned and a lot that aren't. Is there any particular track that, in your mind, is your absolute diehard favorite track to run at? And if there is, why is it that track?
I've actually never got to race a stock car there, but I've always had fun in a vintage car at Marshalltown Speedway. But without a doubt, hands down, Deer Creek Speedway is the best track in the country, in my opinion, that I've set foot on. It's so fun. It's got a atmosphere about it. It's just got an aura, and it just sings to you. I mean, it's the place to be, man.
See,
Saturday nights, USRA.
and you are not the first person to tell me Deer Creek. So I mean, there's
Nope.
obviously got to be something special about Deer Creek. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna push them a little harder than I did today and try to get them on.
Yes, sir.
find
Yes,
out
sir.
find out
They're good.
what is it about Deer Creek out there.
They're good people too. They run with Queenslands. It's very, like I said, it's just got an atmosphere about it, like Knoxville. I've never been to Eldora, but I know Eldora's got an atmosphere. Lucas Oil's got its own atmosphere, but Deer Creek is just an hour north of my house. It's not my home track. Speaking of which, Mason City Motor Speedway, Todd Staley, shout out to him and an awesome track. They cut down a big half mile. And they got a badass little third mile high bank black anybody that races there, any big dogs that come there, they love it. It's going to be the next Deer Creek. It's got its own atmosphere too. So they're just over an hour away from each other. So it's a Saturday night, Sunday night combo that people can really get going on. It'll take off here soon.
Well, hopefully it does, because we need more good tracks like that out there that bring in that kind of atmosphere. Now, next up on the chopping block of the big loaded questions here for you are, who would you say your biggest sponsors out there are for you and your racing season?
Well, my biggest financial sponsor is without a doubt Al and Mike Hana. They used to tour the USMTS, but Al still tours a little bit on tour. Big Al. They train. They own Zookie's Rockin' Sports Bar, Seven's Restaurant and Steakhouse, and Tap House and Cocktail Lounge, all downtown Clear Lake. Me and Al, we've been family friends for probably basically my entire life, and he'd come on board as a financial sponsor, and he's still a good friend, and I help him when I can on his car and whatnot. I really couldn't do without him, so thanks to him and his brother Mike and their three businesses. We got my brother's Brushstrokes, Gas Engineering. We got Charlie's Auto Service, Mesa City, Iowa. Dwayne Germanson with Mesa City Auto Sales. We got Black Dog Barbecue, Wade Eastman. We got GRP, Mike Rolfson, Dustin Brown. Thank you guys. Eldorado Shock Service, Rally Hatfield. Thanks to him and his wife Beeve. All my crew, Cole, my dad, my brother. Thank you guys. Auto Style Inc. He does my wraps. A few other guys were freaking, but we work real hard on this, and we couldn't do it without them either.
Well, that's obviously a lot of good support. It sounds like you got there. They helped you get to where you are, this off season. So we can't say that they're not a big help and a big inspiration to you. So obviously,
even for financial, sponsors on the car, anybody that supports racing, the fans, guys like you doing stuff on. I love listening to podcasts and stuff. So I love this kind of stuff. It's all this kind of support keeps us racers going, even financially and emotional support like this. So thanks to you and all the fans out there.
Well, we appreciate it, and I love doing this. Without you guys, I wouldn't have anything to fill and occupy my time. So,
right on.
So obviously, thank you guys for providing entertaining year after year for racing. Now, moving on, I know this is the off season, and it's a little bit maybe hard to look at what's going on next year. But are you gonna be chasing after Mitch's crown next year, or is that something you're gonna hammer down really into and try to dethrone him?
I'm never a points racer. I didn't become a points racer until about 2 weeks ago in the season this year. We just go to win trophies, and everything else falls into place if you win enough trophies. And we're just there for a good time. And the best time you can have is winning a trophy. So that's what I strive for.
All right, definitely a more humble approach to it. Come on, we got to get a little bit more rub in there.
Well, if I could financially afford to at the beginning of the season to go points racing, then I could definitely say it and kind of attack it like that. But with the way my finances are, is I play it week to week, literally. A bad wreck could put me out for the year, so I can't really attack it like that. So we just go week to week and we try to win them trophies. And that's all you can really do. Well, we're lucky enough to be able to contend for them trophies. I feel very humble, very fortunate to do that. So that's a blessing.
I mean, and it's a huge success from where you finished. Mitch obviously been doing this for a good minute, so it's a little hard to dethrone those guys that have got 8 or 9 of national championships under their belt. They kind of look at it as, I wasn't really trying this year.
He definitely tries. You got to try hard to beat these guys in our business. But those guys got more and I got races total in me. So experiences, comes a lot. That's why I keep getting better. I get better, more seat time. That's my biggest downfall, is not being in the seat enough.
Next question for you here, and this is a question I love asking drivers, just because there's nothing wrong with the class you run now. Obviously, you're good at what you run now, but if there was no kind of limitation to you as far as time or sponsors or financial wise, what would be a class that you would just love to run at least one season?
Oh, it would definitely be an open late model. I've always said I want to be a race car driver. That was my dreams. So essentially, I'm kind of living my dreams to a point. But now my dreams are kind of to make my career around racing and be a professional race car driver per se, and try to pursue that aspect of it. And to be a touring late model driver would be a lifelong dream. And without a doubt, they're the baddest cars. I don't know, sprint cars are faster, but late models are way more badass, like me.
I'm not gonna lie to you, everybody so far, besides I think one person, honestly has told me something other than late model. Um,
Right,
I finally got somebody to say I would love to run a sprint car.
right. My balls aren't that big, man. I ain't that dumb. Sprint cars are wild.
Now you spoke a little bit about the experience going into racing and stuff. But my next question for you is there any kind of special traditions that you or your family has going into the racetrack that if you didn't do it, it just wouldn't feel like it was an actual race night for you?
Oh, I don't know. We got some odd traditions and stuff. No wearing green, no green underwear, no silly stuff like that. Just your standard hypothetical things like that. But not necessarily. We're always focused. I don't know. I try to. My buddies always try to keep me lighthearted because I'm always too focused and too serious. So other than that, I don't know. Nothing too routine.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's ever really a routine night in racing.
No.
Because every night something different could happen. You could have a new person coming out to the track and they could have some sort of catastrophe and you just get caught up in it. Lord forbid.
Yep. Yep.
And as you said, it could put you out for the year if it's bad enough. So,
Yeah, there are a lot of variables in racing. You could, hell, I'm not happy half the time when I win because I'm making a mistake. I know something I could have done better. So I just kind of use that just so I can remain focused and do better the next time, really.
yeah, now, I do have a fairly loaded question for you. And this is why it's the most loaded question I have for all the drivers out there. Because it means something different to everybody. It means lifelong dreams. It means family. It means camaraderie. It means filling their time to keep them out of trouble with girls. But what does racing mean the most to you in your life?
um, Man, it's just a passion and a dream. It really is just a dream. Like I don't want to go to work every day. I want to go racing. Um, that's all I think about when I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm contemplating catch a camera and how much spring I got in the right room. Um, every day I think about it, even when I'm not working on it. It's just a passion, man. It's deep. It's truly deep in my blood, man. You cut me open, there's some race cars spilling out blood.
That's obviously how I think a lot of drivers feel about it. Um, but now, I do think a lot of them agree with you. It is the big passion behind it all. Without your fellow competitors, especially the ones that race you good and hard out there and make you a better person, I don't think you would enjoy it as much.
Yep, there's a lot. I love the competition of it. That's one thing that draws me to Mitch a lot. Is he's the best out there, and there's a competition involved with it. I just love competing with the best. That's the only way to get better, and that competition aspect is a real big thing for me. We build all of our own equipment. I've designed everything on my style design and built myself with buddy's help. So that goes hand in hand with the competition deal. A lot of people have a lot of knowledge, but a lot of people just swipe credit cards to go fast, and we ain't got no credit cards over here.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of hard to race like that nowadays. But is there anybody else before we go that you may have forgotten that you'd like to say thank you to or a
Yep.
couple words to?
Yep. Just a shout out to my girlfriend Tasha. Love you.
Obviously, we couldn't do it without the support of our spouses or our girlfriends out there, or our husbands or wives, or anything like that sort. You know, couldn't do it without our good race fans. So, on behalf of us here at Rubbin' Dirt and our partnership with Dubby, again, thank you for your time. And don't forget to continue to go out and support your local dirt tracks. And hopefully next year we're talking again and getting a feel for how your season's going. And maybe by this time of the year we're talking to the national champion. Or maybe
Oh
finishing
yeah.
number two again, and this time being only 2 points behind.
We'll shoot for that trophy. Is what we're gonna do.
Well, that sounds like a good plan, Josh. Thank you for your time. Everybody, that's going to do it for this episode.